sana, tamu sana, yes, tamu sana. We are still following on the events of Kiambaa parliamentary by-election. About 1 hour ago, Moses Kuria posted something through his Facebook account, something that just implies that he was inciting other supporters to storm Jubilee meeting places. This is what he posted through his Facebook account. Bomb Havila. Yes, that's the post by Moses Kuria about 1 hour ago. And if you go through the comments after I posted that, majority of Kenyans castigated him and believe that that post was meant to incite Kenyans or other supporters to storm Jubilee meeting places. That's what the post generally means. So in this video right now, I want us to look into details as to why Moses Kuria, in the eve of Kiambaa by-election, can have such kind of a post. Yes, that's our discussion and analysis in this video right now. Number one, Oda party is panicking about the progress of Kiambaa parliamentary by-election. Things are not going as they planned. Because earlier in the morning, Oda agent, somebody by the name of Langat, was caught red-handed in a room outside the polling stations, pre-marking ballot papers and inserting them inside a box. Look at the video once more, ladies and gentlemen, to understand what I'm saying. Yes, that's Oda party agents pre-marking ballot papers and inserting them inside a box. So, folks, ladies and gentlemen, that post by Moses Kuria just confirms without any doubt at all that they are panicking about the way things are going in Kiambaa by-election. Things are going contrary to what maybe they had expected. Secondly, Moses Kuria is seeking sympathy votes. He is seeking sympathy votes. He wants to be arrested so that Wanjiku Njuguna, Oda's candidate, may have sympathy votes. This is not the first time Moses Kuria is doing that. Recently, in the just concluded Georgia parliamentary by-election, Moses Kuria was arrested just some days to the by-election. In fact, 2 or 1 day to the by-election. And that really helped in giving their candidate Njuguna some very good sympathy votes. And he ended up just winning with a very big margin. So maybe Moses Kuria in this case again wanted to be arrested so that sympathy votes can go to their candidate. But I know the government knows that pretty well and might not arrest him as the voting continues. Most likely, if they are to arrest him, they should arrest him after the voting closes. Maybe as from 7 there. But as of now, they should not arrest him. He's trying to seek sympathy votes for their candidate, for Oda's candidate. Number 3, Moses Kuria is posting this largely to scare old voters in Kiambaa constituency. Because from the statistics from the ground, most old voters prefer Kariri Njama as compared to Njuguna Wanjiku. So in this post by Moses Kuria can send some chills among some old voters that there might be violence in that by-election. So some of the old voters might stay away from the election or rather from voting. These are all political maneuvers and tactics politicians use. So Moses Kuria might be deliberately posting this to scare some old voters into thinking that there is going to be violence. And as long as all voters stays away, then the person to be affected most in this case will be none other than Jubilee's candidate, Kariri Njama. Because again, from the statistics, younger voters do not care much about violence. Whether there is violence or not, younger voters, they will just go to vote. And in fact, they are the same ones who will be used to cause violence, if any. So Moses Kuria is deploying this strategy carefully to scare all voters. And all voters are largely supporting Jubilee's candidate, Kariri Njama. That's also a possibility. And then fourthly, Moses Kuria is trying to post this to justify that maybe assuming they lose this election, then they will come with all sorts of allegations of how things were bad there, of how election was stolen, of how there were voter bribery. So he's just trying maybe to prepare the psyches of their older supporters not to concede defeat. Maybe assuming Jubilee Party candidate Kariri Njama goes on and win the seat. So Moses Kuria in this case is just preparing older supporters psychologically to make sure they should not concede defeat. Because from where he sits anyway, things might not be going as they had planned. And also if you look at a post by Ole Kina today, Ole Kina insinuated emotionally that Jubilee candidate Kariri Njama was headed for a landslide win on the eve of an election. So that also shows that maybe from the kind of statistics being done, how can I call it? Exit opinion polls that are coming out from those who have already voted. We can conclude it that maybe Kariri Njama of Jubilee is well ahead in the lead. So Moses Kuria is just preparing their supporters psychologically not to concede defeat, assuming Jubilee Party goes and win the seat. And then finally, Moses Kuria's posting that also just exposes who Moses Kuria is. Moses Kuria is not new to incitement allegation. On several occasions, he has even been arrested for inciting violence. Some times back, they were arrested, we can still remember, the Pangani 6, where Moses Kuria made some very damaging remarks against Raila Amolo Odinga and also against the Luo community. He has been using this thing of circumcision to really attack the Luo community and also attack Raila Amolo Odinga. So Moses Kuria is not new to inciting violence. He is somebody whose trademark has been all along violence. And then some times back, he was also spotted with a group of youths carrying pangas. And during that time, again, ladies and gentlemen, he gave out some very, very inciting statements against Raila Amolo Odinga and against the Luo community. So Moses Kuria is not new to inciting violence. That's his nature, and that's something that is in his DNA. He cannot just stop causing or rather inciting violence. So in this case, we can just assume that from that post of Bomb Havila, he was just trying to incite violence. He's just trying to incite older supporters against the peaceful voters. Because things might not be going as they planned. So he's just trying to incite violence in that area, ladies and gentlemen. And having said that also, let me also add, ladies and gentlemen, that also if you look at their campaign strategy, they are appearing to be trying to invoke violence or incite violence. Even apart from Moses Kuria himself, there is also Dennis Itumbi, who also called upon older supporters, or rather residents of Kiambaa constituency, to go and eject chiefs from the polling stations. And this is some sign of trying to incite violence or to cause violence, because they believe that in the event of violence, then in one way or the other, their candidate stands to gain. They don't want things to go on smoothly without violence. That seems out to be also Moses Kuria's and even UDA's campaign strategy. Because also some times back, in London Ward in Nakuru, there was a lot of violence there. And the violence was purely coming from UDA supporters. They were storming polling stations and causing a lot of violence. In this case, ladies and gentlemen, even from the videos we've just seen here, you can see a group of men and even women pre-marking ballot papers and inserting them inside a box. How can I call it? Election box or IBC box. They are pre-marking the ballot paper and inserting them inside a box. So this also shows us the coordination, or rather, the relationship between UDA party and also IEBC. There have been very loud rumors that IEBC and UDA party seems to be reading from the same script. Where did they get these IEBC ballot papers and the box? And you can see they are pre-marking ballot papers and inserting inside the box. So that also tells, ladies and gentlemen, that sometimes the person who is declared the winner sometimes might not even be the winner. There is also rigging. Rigging also happens in politics. That's not a remote possibility. Because from this election, other parties have been really crying foul of how Jubilee plans to rig election. But now here, they are being found red-handed, pre-marking ballot papers and inserting them inside an election box. That's what we call rigging. So in this video right now, we can accurately confirm that UDA were planning to rig this by-election. But their plans were thwarted. So they are running scared. Otherwise, folks, ladies and gentlemen, let me leave it there for today. If you've just bumped on this YouTube channel, tap on the subscription button and also kindly give this video a like. Give it a like, please. Thank you. God bless you.